We have time to start a second round of questions, so I'll start with another round of questions. First to Ms. Sabatino. As part of the FY21 appropriations package, Congress improved important bipartisan language regarding the creation of a pilot program that would expand the border crossing card program in Arizona and allow vetted Mexican travelers with an I-94 to travel throughout Arizona. This is an important initiative for my state that has the potential to make border crossing more efficient for travel and trade. Can you provide the subcommittee an update on CBP's progress in implementing this expansion, what hurdles you might have experienced, and the plans you have to overcome those challenges?
Thank you, Chairwoman. And I do not, unfortunately, have a good answer for you on the particular pilot program because of the challenges with the travel restrictions. That project did not develop as it could have had we not encountered the COVID pandemic. However, we are looking at the opportunities to implement that pilot program and actually see it as a short-term solution and gap filler for things that I had mentioned earlier when we're talking about advanced information and more comprehensively looking at the traffic coming across the border, individuals applying for and receiving the provisional I-94s in advance and being able to issue those right at primary. So a number of efforts underway, that a short term, and we will follow up with you on, the developments and what a timeline could be for that project.
I appreciate that. Another question for you. In Arizona and other border states, we've had a recurring problem of understaffing at our ports of entry. As I'm sure you're aware, Office of Field Operations workforce staffing models for ports in areas such as Nogales indicate that the hiring has improved somewhat. But I do always worry about retaining experienced officers who understand the challenges unique to the U.S.-Mexico border. What are the key concerns that OFO leadership hears from port officers that get in the way of them successfully doing their job? And what steps are you all taking to improve these workforce morale and retention challenges?
And very important to CBP and in particular the Office of Field Operations for our frontline personnel and all of our personnel who have been so significantly impacted along with the rest of the country by the pandemic. We do have a number of investments, that cover a spectrum of, target areas. I think first and foremost, the investments that the Office of Field Operations has made in peer support teams and investments in the chaplain program where we have resources right on the ground for employees, certainly to engage with employees should they identify any challenges, but a resource if they don't want to pick up the phone and reach out through the employee assistance program, that they have someone that they can talk to, that they know and that they're comfortable with. And we message that aggressively with our personnel. There's also the employee assistance program where there's a variety of services available to our workforce should they need anything with respect to challenges, assistance managing finances, mental health resources for them. These are all different opportunities given the comfort level of the individual to, who they would like to speak to. I think the agency has also made a significant investment in bringing on clinicians to help us guide these programs, and enhance them. We also have the Workforce and Resiliency Division in the National Capital Region that looks at opportunities to engage employees in morale building and team building programs that we deploy out to the field.
Thank you. And Mr. Geronimo, the same basic question for you. Can you speak to the challenges impacting HSI personnel and agency efforts to improve morale and retention?
Thank you for your question, Chairwoman. I will say that HSI always recruits very well. When we have announcements for 1811 special agent positions, we have a robust applicant pool. We also even do female-only announcements. So we've never had an issue in the recruiting process, and I believe the reason for that is we're not a single scope mission agency. We're able to attack criminal organizations or TCOs from multiple fronts, and I think that is important when we're looking for new recruits. I also point out that HSI might be relatively new in name, but HSI and CBP have a legacy that goes back to 1789 with the creation of U.S. Customs, and we have a very long tradition. And who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Is what I would put out there. I also say if there is one thing that does bring morale down for HSI is our inability to work with some jurisdictions because we're under the umbrella of ICE. It's well documented that certain jurisdictions will not work with HSI because of that fact alone. And it's a bit frustrating for HSI and its employees because the only thing we're looking to do is work with these jurisdictions to enforce narcotics investigations, child exploitation, cyber, gang enforcement, money laundering, human smuggling, human trafficking. And at the end of the day, we're only focusing on the safety and well-being of those particular citizens in those jurisdictions and the nation as a whole. So that is a frustrating point for us in that regards, ma'am.
Thank you. Senator Portman, I see you've joined the committee. I'd like to recognize you for 7 minutes of questions.
Great. Well, thank you very much.